We got your background music going. It's time for Mr. K's writing class as we delve into the sequel for our AracKnight graphic novel as we attempt to become the best Marvel writer there is that isn't paid by Marvel. As you can see, we currently have the AracKnight graphic novel. Well, it's the first comic book, Chapter 1, 24 pages. And the textbook, the accompanying textbook, the Kickstarter is currently rolling. We hope you'll be a part of it. Come and get yourself some goodies. As we work on the sequel, we put out the screenplays first as a textbook, and then eventually we produce the textbook into a finished comic book and graphic novel. But while we're waiting, it's always fun to read the story, perhaps even play with some of the AI engines and create the art while we wait for the drawings to catch up. Oh, wrong button. Anyway, when we last left off, I believe we are 4 pages in. So we do 2 pages per class, 12 classes per chapter. And then we basically mine through the old Spider-Man stories in chronological order. And we basically use the stories that we're playing with at the time, plus whatever's going through our heads. And that is how we craft our story, as opposed to being all over the place, not knowing where to start to finish. We use the first 100 issues of Amazing Spider-Man and some other annuals and other sorted stories and affairs to write our first graphic novel. So the goal was we did a 4-chapter graphic novel for the AracKnight Part 1. So now we're doing the sequel. So that was the AracKnight. Now we're doing the AracKnight Returns. Our goal is 5 chapters. 5 books, 24 pages each. So we had Empire City glowing in the distance. We have Betty Brant, our Lois Lane, of course, doing the introductions. Good morning, Empire City. This is Betty Brant of the Daily Bugle, and we open our story with a milestone marker. A year ago, our metropolis was thrown into utter chaos as a madman attempted to hold the city hostage, exposing our leader as a murderer and a fraud, and nearly succeeding in his quest for our annihilation. But our kingdom was saved, and our empire reborn. As part of the reconstruction and redemption process, our new mayor has vowed to bring in the most brilliant minds in the world. Surgeons, scientists, and swords, for not just the benefit of the empire, but to spread that wealth and knowledge back to the wastelands below. As Empire City vows to no longer hover above the shadows, but to be the bringers of light. Viewing into the plane, we see the Hannibal Lecter-looking Dr. Jonas Harrow sitting in first class like accommodations, while being flanked by armed guards. He's obviously being flown in by someone rich via private jet. He looks like that type of evil doctor that a Bond villain would hire. Enter Dr. Jonas Harrow, once considered to be the second best brain surgeon in the world, discredited and disbarred for performing untraditional experiments on both willing and unsuspecting patients. A fugitive who spent the last few years toiling as a hired merc in the black market organ trade. Oh, I like this. Close-up of Dr. Harrow gulping down a bite of steak as there is a rumbling from outside the cabin. And someone put up a lot of silver in order to fly him in on the Concorde from Madripoor. Dr. Harrow and the entire crew suddenly thrust forward, as it appears someone has jumped onto the plane and is now attempting to sabotage it while entering through the cockpit. S-effects of the turbulence in breaking an entry. The mayor has denied all rumors that he financed Dr. Harrow's transport, and plans to have him arrested upon arrival. While considered brilliant and innovative, he is still a mad scientist, and our new mayor has vowed not to shake the devil's hand, a la his predecessor. The armed guards turn and focus their guns toward the cockpit door, where we hear the sounds of the pilots being electrocuted. As effects of the executions via electrocution from behind the cockpit door. Many insiders have said that Dr. Harrow was being brought in as a way of tapping into the preserved brain of the villainous Dr. O, the man responsible for last year's attack on the Empire. Scientists believe the brain carries the secrets of beneficial technology. But those same insiders say that this living brain has gone missing. So remember, at the end of the AracKnight, we showed that Norman Osborn is very much still alive, living as a hermit, if you will, like a Phantom of the Opera, in a secret lab with his experiments, one of which being the living brain of Dr. Octopus. See, we killed the chameleon, and we killed Kraven in our first chapters. We didn't need to kill Dr. Ock. Of course, we shoot him, he gets shot in the head as he's about to suck in Spider-Man's guts and essence and soul. He's taken out by a police sniper. So they're showing that the police do help Spider-Man. They're not just in spite of Spider-Man. You never like the story where the cops that are involved, they're useless. They're just to be soldiers to be thrown around. You want him to be able to have helped Spider-Man the same way Spider-Man helps them. Otherwise, the cops are just a fucking plot device. That's not fun. The cockpit door slides open and the guards open fire. We see the back of the mercenary, very Batman-like, with large wings that he uses to cross himself to block the gunfire. After a nice stretch of peace and prosperity, I get this eerie feeling that a new pack of cards are being laid on the table, and the game pieces are being placed into line. Page 2, the wings of the mercenary open up swiftly like an assassin, sending several metallic projectiles all around the cabin. We always knew with the advent of heroism, evil would eventually push back, and even with a giant shield providing this artificial cone of comfort, who knows where the Spectre will strike. Ooh, I like this. The projectiles all explode as we see, sears off the rear of the plane. Oh, the Dark Knight rises. SFX of the plane, back of the plane blowing off. Whether by air or by sea, there's a new conflict coming for Empire City. We see Dr. Harrow and his guards sucked out of the back of the open plane, their guns firing aimlessly and hopelessly towards the mercenary. For whatever offensive provided by these decadent demons, you can bet that Commissioner Stacy will have our Blue Angels armed and ready to defend. We see a close-up of the frantic Dr. Harrow seemingly plummeting towards his death, while his guards floating alongside him. And should these demons bring with them the forces of darkness, something beyond even the levels of normal men, we have a knight. Suddenly, he is snatched out of the air by the mercenaries, who reveal to be the Vulture, a green-clad skyjacker extraordinaire with his wings spread in full mastery, almost looming like Batman in the glowing moonlight. Captured across this panel reveals the title of the story, The AracKnight Returns. With Dr. Harrow clutched in his grasp, the Vulture does a quick barrel roll to evade the plummeting plane as it nearly collides with them on the descent. SFX of the barrel roll wind resistance of the crashing plane swooshing past them. As a fun homage, you can have the crashing plane take out the title font card, The AracKnight Returns. So the idea is you're showing the title card, and then I wanted to show the last panel is the plane crashing into the title font, like destroying it. I mean, like the Vulture is coming for the AracKnight Returns, saying, fuck that shit, this is my show. So you get that really cool 2-page Bond villain opening, where we show off a Bond villain, but then we say, fuck it, let's show off the second one as well. This is a tag team effort. We're doing the Sandman and the Vulture so far for this story. Now let's see where it goes. Page 3. So that was the first class. Now we get into the second class, and we'll start the new one. We see a convoy of vehicles traveling through the wastelands beyond Empire City. It looks like something out of Mad Max, the aftermath of the Second Civil War in the United States. While Mayor Jameson denies any involvement with Dr. Harrow, he has taken credit for arranging the residences of 2 prominent minds currently en route to Empire City. Panning inside the vehicle, we see 2 scientists sitting together in the back, looking somewhat nervous as they travel towards the city through the wasteland. We see Professor Jorgensen is reading a copy of Now magazine with a picture of Spider-Man on the cover. There is Dr. Rory Thaxton, the controversial yet master-level tactician in the world of biochemistry, whose expertise in the field of gene alteration has led to his infamy. The other is Professor Hans Jorgensen, the world's top hematologist. Rumors swirl that these men have been brought in to recreate the fabled super soldier serum. As the convoy continues along the dirt road, we see a sandstorm beginning to brew. We now have a Now magazine alert. It appears there was a plane crash just outside Empire City airspace. We're still waiting on feeds from our security drones, but there appears to be no survivors. The storm turns more aggressive, almost forming a demon-like monstrous shape as it envelopes the convoy. Reports are starting to come in about a massive clogging of the wind turbines along the Empire City gallows. We will keep you posted whether this is via climate, chaos, or corruption. We see the convoy flooded and the vehicles overturned. While traveling along the wasteland is not recommended without proper guard, Empire City has been answering demands for opening up her gates and letting in more citizens from below. As the sandstorm recedes and disappears, all we can see is that remains a copy of Now magazine, all ruffled in sandbar as it starts to disintegrate, the image of Spider-Man on the cover. SFX of the burning cover image. Even with Lady Liberty melted down during the Ascension, the dream still remains. Alright. Let's set shit up. Page 4. We cut to the Daily Bugle building, where we hear Mayor Jameson scolding his former employees. 7 hells, Betty. If you're going to roast me over the air, at least buy me a cigar. What roasting, Your Honor? I was merely painting with words. Yeah, finger painting. I can smell it. Panning into the building, we have a conference between the Mayor Jameson, Editor Robinson, and reporter Betty Brandt. We see Mayor Jameson kicking back in his old chair while going through drone footage. Comfy, Your Honor. I would be if you kept her in line. Then I wouldn't be me. Oh, no, he's calling him Chief. Okay. Then I wouldn't be me, Your Honor. I still can't get used to it. Not when you're in that chair. Well, good. You could be the mayor. Take my ulcer and get me a pile of marshmallows swimming in cocoa. Take my ulcer and get me a pile of marshmallows swimming in cocoa. Close up on Jameson overlooking the pictures. These are crap. These bastard skyjackers couldn't have waited till the plane was closer. I think that was the idea, sir. So now Dr. Harrow is dead. Missing, Mayor. Missing, Mr. Mayor. Not dead. Missing, Mr. Mayor. Not dead. All right, so Commissioner Stacy's entered the room. Good to see you again, George. Did you bring the crucial evidence I requested? Yes, Your Honor, I have the cigars. So tell me, Commissioner, and off the record, Robbie. First, we know why, but the question is who? Who would want to bring in that nut Harrow to the Empire? And second, who hates him enough to have him taken out in the sky? Would it be much cheaper to hit him when he lands? And third, if he's not dead, where is he? Who took him? Commissioner Stacy hands over a small stack of photos, which Robinson and Jameson go over as Betty comes in with the cocoa and massive marshmallows. I would assume the same party who took them. We just got word that our convoy was attacked. I would assume it was the same party who took them. Just got word our convoy was attacked and absconded with both Dr. Thaxton and Professor Jorgensen. Once the men were conscious, they couldn't identify anyone. Said they were ambushed under the cover of a sandstorm. Sandstorm? The wastelands? And who the hell knew about our convoy route? That's why I'm here to find out. Someone's making a move, Mr. Mayor. Someone is kidnapping prominent minds heading into Empire City for reasons of ransom or sabotage. Sabotage? You know what I think? Unfortunately, you're about to tell me. Spider-Man. They know the mayor hates Spider-Man. Commissioner gestures over to Betty with a smile while he curiously inspects Jameson's cocoa cup. Well, I smell a story. Can I tag along, Commissioner? You're always welcome, Miss Brandt, as long as you don't distract my men. May as well take a photog along, Betty, in case things get interesting. Yes, where is that deadbeat Parker anyway? All collecting severance, I assume? Sexy close-up shot of Betty Brandt doing her best Lois Lane Miss Moneypenny Mad Men pose. He's on assignment, sir, working on Now Magazine's bold new cover. Jameson kicks back too far on the chair and it falls backward, taking him and the cocoa with it, sending marshmallows flying. Yeah, right! Boom. All right, we are all caught up. Cute interlude. Great opening. We need 2 pages. We got to now introduce Peter Parker into the story. So, that is what we're up to now. So right off the bat, we're up to Amazing Spider-Man 119 in our mining. So it's 1973. So if you're reading side comics, you just want to read it around 1973. You want to get the mood of where Marvel was at the time, where the world was at the time, where art and comics and storylines were. And what I kind of like here is this is basically a fucking Spider-Man versus Hulk fight. I'm pretty sure this one takes place in Canada, if I remember correctly. So the idea I had, we had Betty Brant say Peter's working on a new cover. I thought it'd be cool to really James Bond this. In our last storyline in AracKnight, the first novel, we connected Spider-Man to the Fantastic Four's origin. So now I want to connect Spider-Man to the Hulk's origin because we're right here with the Hulk, and it's kind of part of the fun of whatever we're reading at the time helps influence the story. So what I was thinking was, it's James Bond it, and we'll have Spider-Man out there camping out in like the desert, right? He's in the wastelands, right? He's in the wastelands. He's on assignment, sir, working on Now Magazine's bold new cover. All right, so what Peter is literally doing a photo shoot with Mary Jane, so of course we're going to have them together, intimately. And they're going to be off in the distance watching the gamma explosion. It'll be somewhat loosely connected to the Hulk's origin. We're not going to see the Hulk, but we'll know he's there getting blown up. Like something cute. And then we got to really catch up to our story. We got to get our heroes and villains together. This is a fun way of introducing Peter into the story. It's very James Bond-like. It connects it to an iconic origin story. I'd like to kind of have fun is that if you can make each one of the novels have a connection to the other origins in the Marvel universe, where it really centers Spider-Man in as the flagship of this universe we're making here, that's even more fun. You hate when you look and you think you see something, and then it's your sunglasses, or it's a glare. Anyway, let's do some mining. You won't stop the Hulk from smashing. Damn, nothing can. So, huh, huh, when we've left off from our storylines, huh, Aunt May has been staying at Dr. Octopus's mansion in Westchester. She's decided to stay on. She nearly kills Peter. It's driving Peter crazy, although, since Dr. Octopus is in jail, he feels that Aunt May is safe. So he goes to see her. Now, of course, we don't have Aunt May in our storylines. Who's this asshole? They're just business associate of Dr. Octavius. Mr. Rafferty is friends. All right, so we're bringing in some criminals here. And I believe this leads to something about Aunt May. I don't know if we're here yet, but I remember at one point Dr. Octopus tries to marry Aunt May. We might not be there yet. This might still be the war between Hammerhead and fucking Dr. Octopus that got all crazy. There was a shootout at the mansion. Everybody got arrested. And Aunt May's staying on taking care of Dr. Octopus's home while Dr. Octopus is in jail. So we've got the mansion. We've got the whole thing. We're going to bring Dr. Octopus back. Right now, Dr. Octopus, his brain is still alive. The body's gone. Brain is alive, and it's in Norman Osborn's secret lab. So we got to bring him into the story. We have all these little MacGuffins up in the air. Now, Norman Osborn, as a leftover from our novel, also has the lizard captive. So we have Green Goblin, the lizard, and Dr. Octopus still floating out there. We're bringing the Vulture and the Sandman in. So we're writing our big anthology story here. So Spider-Man's swinging around. He's taking a look at some shit. He wants to know what's going down. Dr. Rock's in jail. He's courting Aunt May by proxy. I think Aunt May inherits something. There's a telegram, private address, which leads, I believe, this is what ends up leading Spider-Man to Canada. Home, never thought I'd miss this cluttered room so much. You really have a good time kind of rooting for Peter, and this is Peter's apartment in Manhattan. Contact you. Stop. Please come in person. Stop. This matter is too delicate for discussion. Montreal, yes. So apparently May inherited some land, or she's got some land in her fucking family's room, or family's estate. Norman Osborn. Harry's having drug problems. On hand, my son. Oh, we have Norman here. So we got the Norman Osborn and the Peter. Peter and Norman just not liking each other. Norman's crazy. We have to figure out how to bring Norman back into the story, introduce him back into the story. When last we saw him, of course, he has Dr. Octopus. He has the lizard. So what we want to do here is, and we know what we kind of want to lay out for page 5. We cut to a shot of the sun setting along a desert landscape. A beautiful purple haze envelopes, swallows the sun. We hear the voice of Mary Jane Watson. Off panel. Peter's basically taking her to watch the bomb go off. No, we're still here. Home, right? Paragraph. Middle. Details get annoying sometimes. MJ. Oh, Peter. I hope we don't miss the explosion. Oh, Peter. I hope we don't miss the explosion. We pan over to see Peter and Mary Jane Watson camped out in the desert. We pan over to see Peter and Mary Jane camped out in the desert as they are on a cliffside, watching something about to go down out in the distance. Oh, Peter, hope we didn't. Hope we don't miss the explosion. Well, it was a long shoot. I think we made it just in time. We pan over to see Peter and Mary Jane Watson camped out in the desert as they are on a cliffside watching something about to go down out in the distance. They are being intimate and romantic as setting. We see a bottle of wine. We see a bottle of wine next to half-filled glasses and candles. Like an outdoor rendezvous. Well, it was a long shoot, but I think we made it just in time. Aren't you afraid of being out in the wastelands? Really? Spent some time on safari. Spent some time on safari out this way. Most of the people out here are just trying to survive, rebuild. But it's ironic because they're about to have a bomb go off in a second. Well, it was a long shoot, but I think we made it just in time. Aren't you afraid of being out in the wastelands? Not really. I spent some time on safari out this way. Most of the people out here are just trying to survive, rebuild. Ironic then, isn't it? Us being out here. They're about to watch a bomb go off. So I like that line. She says, ironic then, isn't it? Us being out here. Close up on Peter's James Bond-like smirk as he looks at her with lust and intrigue. Close up on Peter's James Bond-like smirk as he looks. Ironic then, isn't it? Us being out here. What would Peter say here? Close up on Peter's James Bond-like smirk as he looks at her with lust and intrigue. So the idea she's fucked with him. Peter's trying to be all like cool, not really. I spent some time on safari out this way. Most of the people out here are just trying to survive, rebuild. And she says, ironic then, isn't it? Us being out here. Close up Peter's James Bond-like smirk as he looks at her with lust and intrigue. I don't think you need words here. Kind of make this sexy. Because then you do a close up on her, close up on Mary Jane, returning his look of lust as she bites her lip and smirks back at him with a naughty glance. I like it. Peter playfully tackles Mary Jane, and they start making out. Peter playfully tackles Mary Jane, and they start making out. SFX of the ground and tent slightly rustling, like the beginning of T-Rex stomps in Jurassic Park. We see the tent start to float and shake around them as they are having sex the bomb, while a bomb is going off the background. They are too busy with each other to notice. SFX of all of the gamma ray, of the gamma bomb explosion going off in the distance. As the tent, wine, and candles blow away, Peter and Mary Jane are still going at it. A sandstorm is raging around them. But again, they are too busy with each other to notice. So what we need to do, our challenge right now, is we're showing with the art. This is a sexy scene. This is our James Bond fun, Bond girl scene. Peter's on assignment. Do we want to do an exposition here with Betty Brant talking about the assignment to J. Jonah Jameson? Or do we want to keep this silent with just it's a storm going on while Peter and Mary Jane are fucking? Do we want to have some fun, like do some Deadpool, fourth wall? This is where we'd play the James Bond music leading into, but we've already done the intro. So what do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? This is page 5. Back to a shot of the sunset on a desert landscape. All right. I hope you missed the explosion. We pan over to see Peter. Mary Jane camped out in the desert, cliffside watching something about to go down in the distance. We made it in time. Military. Planning what's called. Military is testing out. First gamma ray bomb. Well, it was a long shoot, but I think we made it just in time. The military is testing out its first gamma ray bomb. We are far enough away. We are far enough away to enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the light show. Well, it was a long shoot, but I think we made it just in time. The military is testing out its first gamma ray bomb, and we are far enough away to enjoy the light show. The entire sky will be in emerald haze. I don't like that. Be an emerald dawn. There will be an emerald haze across this entire sky. I like that. I think we made it just in time. You don't want to say generic shit that's not fun. Oh, the Hulk might be, that's not fun. The fun part, the challenge of being a writer is to dress it up, to let the reader know what they're seeing, what they're witnessing, but also enjoying it. I don't need the apostrophe. I guess. I think we made it just in time. The military is testing out its first gamma ray bomb. We are far enough away to enjoy the light show. There'll be an emerald haze across the entire. There'll be an emerald haze across this entire sky. Aren't you afraid of being out in the wastelands? Being this far out. Being this far out. Aren't you afraid of being this far out in the wastelands? Not really. Spent some time on safari out this way. Most of the people, most of the people out here are just trying to survive, rebuild. Ironic, then, isn't it? Us being out here. Close up on Peters, James Bond-like smirk as he looks at her with lust and intrigue. See, now that we put a little bit of exposition in there, without being an exposition dump, it makes me feel better. So I don't need lines here or here. Close-up on Peter's James Bond-like smirk as he looks at her with lust and intrigue. Close-up on Mary Jane returning his look of lust as she bites her lip and smirks back at him with a naughty glance. Peter playfully tackles Mary Jane and they start making out. SFX of the ground intense, slightly rustling, like the beginning of the T-Rex. Alright, I like that. The T-Rex stomps in Jurassic Park. Maybe we should have the Sandman. Peter playfully. So this is the way to do it. Peter playfully tackles Mary Jane and they start making out. SFX of the ground intense, slightly rustling, like the beginning of the T-Rex stomps in Jurassic Park. All right, you don't need dialogue there. We see the tent start to float and shake around them as they are having sex while a bomb is going off in the background. But they are too busy with each other to notice. SFX of the gamma bomb going off in the distance. All right, that'll take up the panel because I want the bomb to be loud. But it doesn't have to be loud. It just has to have impact. That plasma effect. Even the ripple that rumbles across the panel. Like a fourth wall break. Always want to underline your FX so the letterer knows to do it. Civics. So annoying. As the tent wanted candles, we don't want that. The tent wanted candles blow. Peter and Mary Jane are still. Well, Peter and Mary Jane. All right, that's what I like. While Peter and Mary Jane are still going at it, a sandstorm is raging around them. But again, they are too busy with each other to notice. Panel 8. Quick close-up. SFX of the sandstorm. Can use small and frequent font to capture the soft sound of the sand storm while it forms around Peter and Mary Jane. Really dress up this scene, their two bodies, with the SFX. See? I don't like the forced words in there. If it doesn't really work the scene, but if it helps the scene, if it really makes it cool, I like this. Quick close-up of a section of the storm. As we see, it forms a hand, a large hand, a hand. The sand formed hand steals the bottle of wine as it absorbs back into the storm. So I like that. So they take his wallet or the wine. I like to take the wine. Yeah, the sand form hand steals the bottle of wine as it absorbs back into the storm around Peter and Mary Jane. So he's not even paying attention to his spider sense. He's getting laid. I like that. Quick close-up of a section of the storm as we see it forms a hand. The sand form him steals the bottle of wine as it absorbs back into the storm around Peter and Mary Jane. I like that. Oh, I fucking like that. I like that. One page down, moving on to page 6. So the fun part is I really don't know where I want to go with the story, which is why we do the mining. So let's mine the rest of this comic book as we figure out what to do with page 6. And what we're going to start doing is, after each one of these classes, we'll take the 2 pages at a time, every day's lesson, and I feed it into the AI generator and we create some cool art with it while we wait for the art to be produced. Fucking allergies. All right. Where were we? All right. So Peter's dealing with the Green Goblin. We got to figure out how to bring Norman Osborn back to the story. We can bring Norman in right now because we could do a cutaway. Peter just got his wine ripped off. We caught Peter and Mary Jane up to the story. We're using these first few pages, of course, to bring all the characters in. Peter's like, you know what? Norman's fucking nuts. Harry's fucking crazy. I'm going to get the fuck out of town for a while. He happens to see, holy shit, the Hulk's in Canada? The Hulk in Canada, far out. So Peter, of course, will use this information to get Jonah to send him to Canada to go track down the Hulk. Parker, get out of here. I don't want to hear a word. Not in the mood. All these years together, you and me, and all we've all met each other. Even when I can offer, you can't refuse, pictures of the Hulk, Spidey, smashing Spidey with the red and blue toothpaste. What's that you say? One more thing, Parker, if you come back without those pics. So it's good. Peter's smart. Uses fucking Jonah to send him off to Montreal to pay for his trips and go figure out what the hell's going on with Mario and Aunt May and maybe take a crack at the Hulk. And you always like when Spider-Man fights the Hulk because that's a big money ticket. If you could write a graphic novel that's this versus this, but they wanted to do a Batman versus Superman, but they wrote a shitty fucking movie. Kennedy Airport. Flight to Montreal. Oh, I love Montreal. You ever been to Montreal? It's a great fucking town. He has to go meet the attorney in Montreal. It's always fun when you see Peter in the Marvel Universe exploring different parts of the world, parts of the galaxy. Mr. Rimbold. We've got lawyers. My aunt's pretty sick, in town on business. She sent me to speak with the boss. Well, sir, I will search for our files. Mrs. Delana thinks, all right, Mrs. Delana's cute. Peter Parker sees what's going on. 16 degrees, that's average for Montreal in the winter. It's really cold. He needs pictures of the Hulk. Brigadier General Thunderbolt Ross. Played by William Hurt, and now, of course, Harrison Ford. Anybody doesn't know, the Hulk's longtime foe step into the rear of the class. You know, of course, Thunderbolt Ross hates the Hulk. Gentlemen of the press, Canada is in the midst of a crisis. The crisis represented by the most dangerous creature alive on the face of the earth, the Hulk. Because of my previous experience with this monster, I've been asked to advise the Canadian military forces. So this is kind of cool, interesting little storyline. They get Peter's got to do some shit for Aunt May. They're going to run him smack into the Hulk, who is currently being hunted by the military. Now we've introduced the Hulk into our story, although in the background, kind of like a cameo. Peter and Mary Jane are partying when the Sandman kind of is passing them by, so we know where the Sandman's coming from, the wastelands. There's military exploration and explosions, experimentation, exhibition. We've got a lot of shit going on. The Hulk's been spotted. They got to get over there and get the fuck after him. They got to shoot him. They got to kill him. Peter's like, what the hell? Let me get in here, guys. Gentlemen, let me get in. He rides along. Danger ahead. His spider sense is tingling. The Hulk is there to fuck some shit up. So what you got here is a good old-fashioned showdown between Peter and the Hulk. So they get you a good old-fashioned battle, a good old-fashioned wrestling match. Spider-Man versus the Hulk with the military in the background. Peter sets up the camera, gets the shots. The military's trained on the Hulk, just like in the movie where they just shoot at the Hulk. It's usually the storyline. They shoot at the Hulk, Hulk throws some pieces of fucking earth, Thunderbolt Ross has a fucking heart attack, some soldiers nearly get killed, some get away. What are you going to do? Everybody shoots at him. He's like, God damn, man. Wonder why he hates the Hulk so much. Greenskin's not what you'd call socially desirable, but then who is? Not your friendly, freewheeling Spidey. Guess hate goes deeper with a guy like Ross. Maybe the Hulk hurts someone Ross loves. You don't know how right you are, Spidey, more than once. Hulk's alter ego, Bruce Banner, has been a source of grief to Hulk's, to Ross's daughter Betty, and now, the Mrs. Glenn Talbot. Oh, that's right. She marries Josh Lucas from the fucking movies. So I didn't read that far into the Hulk. I guess I will at some point. So now we got a dam going on here. A crazy war between the Canadian infantry and the Hulk. So Spider-Man's in the middle here. Hulk's going to destroy this fucking dam. He's afraid of the Hulk. Spider-Man's going to figure out how to stop the Hulk. He's going to make sure the Hulk doesn't destroy this fucking dam. But the Hulk is, of course, destroying the dam. Everybody's drowning. Except now, when the entire world caves in on you, a monk pins you down. Now or ever again. Hang tight, hero, for this plunging concrete slab doesn't end your web slinging permanently. The sub-zero water around you will. That's right, Spider-Man's in freezing water. I'm a polar bear, man. I just swam in cold water this morning. That shit is fucking tight. Alright, rather than jumping over to Marvel Team-Up, let's finish this arc. Let's keep going. Because again, we brought it into our storyline. Spider-Man and the Hulk. Again, Hulk in the background. We get a really cool scene between Peter and Mary Jane going at it. We get our James Bond girl scene. Peter's on assignment. He's banged Betty Brant. Now he's banged Mary Jane. Peter's James Bond again. He's going to bang them all. Do we introduce somebody else now that we showed Peter there? Do we bring in Norman Osborn? Is Norman Osborn getting a delivery to his lab right now? What have we done so far? We've brought in Metropolis. We've shown two scientists being captured by the Sandman. We saw another one being captured on his plane. We've introduced the Vulture. We've shown the Sandman. We've shown Peter and Mary Jane. So what do we do with page 6? How do we end today's class? Let's see. So Spider-Man and the Hulk are brawling underneath the water, freezing ice-cold water inside Canada. Peter has pursued this trip to figure out what's going on with Aunt May. Maybe make some money by snapping pictures of the Hulk. But now Spider-Man is into it, fighting with the Hulk. The Hulk is quite powerful. He is quite mad. And for some reason, he's destroying a dam. He's wishing around the water, and he's causing a fucking tsunami in fucking Montreal. The military is after the Hulk. The Hulk gets away. That pretty much was just writing him in and through. Brigadier General Ross, Spider-Man on temporary duty with the Canadian militia. And as for his plans, Force 2 come in. Okay, Hulkophiles, we know things are different in the Hulk's own mag. What do you want, consistency? What they're saying is whatever's going on with the Hulk at the time is not going on here. Which kind of fucked up. They got to figure out a way to reroute the story so that Hulk finds some time to go to Montreal. So I guess that's it. He's done. They're writing him out. This was like a one-off. The Hulk is gone. Montreal, Quebec, the largest city in Canada, population 1.5 million. Bitter winters, pleasant summers, an island on the St. Lawrence River, the site of the 1967 World Exhibition, and now the site of Peter Parker's private quest, a quest which takes him to Montreal's east side and the law offices of Jean-Pierre Rimbaud. That was such a cheap ploy to just throw the Hulk in. So the Hulk is done. This was like WWE Raw. They got you a quick Spider-Man Hulk match. And now it's back to the fucking story. All right. Gwen Stacy's back in. It must be backflashing that bad trip he had a few months ago. Backflashing? What do you mean? Bad connection. Something about his father. Gwen. We bring Gwen Stacy into his story as well. Someone to talk to, not a woman who vanishes at sundown. Peter's feeling guilty because he's always running around with Spider-Man. He's got some dude following him. Most than likely, that's the dude working for either Dr. Octopus or Hammerhead. So he throws him off the building, then, of course, catches him. See, I like that. I actually like that tactic that he throws somebody off the building and then catches him last second. That's not bad. I like your attitude, son. I was told to. I didn't think you did it for the kick, Sponge Brain. Next question, who hired you? Octopus, Dr. Octopus, he's interested in Parker's aunt and spotlights are on Peter. I guess the military's after him because of his connection. I like when he talks about it. When was the last time Clark Kent found kryptonite in his phone booth? So I like that. They're after him, whereas though they think him and the Hulk are in cahoots. Why are you both here at the same time? I actually kind of like that. They tied it to the military. The Hulk got away, so now the military's after Peter. You know what? That's not bad. And Gil Kane's a great artist. Like, he really knows how to draw Peter Parker. We got the cute secretary here. We can have a city like Montreal. We can bring us a Montreal type city into our storyline. Expo City. Of course, man named Octopus. Octopus. Forget it. I guess you call it a private joke. For the old Expo 67 grounds, Miss Rimbold is representing a contractor who's planning to build a new building on site. Somehow this lawyer's not going to make it. The exhibition grounds have been around this place. I went to Montreal Comic Con. That's where this was. I've been here. Oh shit, Hulk's back at the storyline. Bright lights make head hurt. Bright lights must go away. No! Hulk! I forgot. I thought the Hulk was done. Turns out they're still gonna fight. Hulk is gonna fuck shit up. Mr. Dillon got taken out. Stop the Hulk. If I want to do it unobserved, I'd better get moving. So Spider-Man, once again, has got to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk. The fairgrounds weren't exactly a pen. They fight in the fairgrounds. So this is the Hulk versus Spider-Man in Montreal. Main eventing this title match. We got trains involved. Okay, so General Ross is catching up to it, which means these assholes are going to get involved again. This is annoying. It's like the plot of a Godzilla versus movie. Godzilla and Kong fight. It's a great fight, and the fucking military comes in and starts shooting stupid weapons at people. I always hate fucking weapons don't ever work. They always bounce off. You're a disappointment to me, Hulk, or Ralph Williams, you're not. You will laugh at Hulk, call him names. Who wants to live forever? Take it all back. You do have a way with words. You won your point. You wrecked the entire geodesic dome by your lonesome. Hope it made you happy. Hulk is basically just destroying shit. You know these men, Miss Mademoiselle Delon. What has happened here? All right, we got the lawyer. These officers from the military. They told me something odd was occurring. Told me I must leave the island at once. The American, Peter Parker. Parker! We must find him, Francis. Utmost importance. Whenever they do this tease bullshit, that means this guy's dead. Hulk and Spider-Man still fight. Hulk's fucking Spider-Man up. But of course, the military gets involved, which means you get a screw job fucking Montreal ending. The Montreal screw job, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk gets out of fucking town. Uh-oh. Before the lawyer could tell him anything, dead. I knew it. I knew I fucking remembered this stupid fucking story. Monsieur Rimbaud was not without enemies. Thanks, Mr. Long. I'll try to. She's cute, Mr. Long. We ever see her again, maybe. So long, Montreal. You won't be hearing from me again for a while. No hard feelings. The Green Goblin. Now we come up to this one next. June 1973 was when they killed Gwen Stacy. This was the big one. This was the tough one. You know, where he catches her, she snaps her neck. The next issue is pretty rough, too. So before we come here, we're going to switch over to the other title, and we're going to see if we can pull page 6 out of Marvel Team Up, which takes us 3 months back. If this is June, we're now going back to March 1973. This is the same writing team, Jerry Conway. I'm not sure it's the same artist. It's not Gil Kane. Ross was also an amazing Spider-Man artist. Spider-Man leaves his home turf in New York City and heads for Asgard. Who else could be teaming up there but the mighty Thor, locked in battle with the menace of Krillic the Cruel? All right, let's do this. We have one page already done. What do we want to do with this next page? And what will we find here to provide some inspiration? Now, a lot of these I don't remember reading. This is a long time. The world of time is running out. Start right from the beginning here. 1,000 things we could say about this symbolic splash, but we figure why waste time. Pilgrim, this is one commodity our harried heroes are desperately short of. For them, and maybe the entire world, time is running out. Past, present, and future. Peter Parker, staff photographer of the Daily Bugle, mixing thoughts and actions. The moment it takes to cross the street to walk down a littered path, and by doing so enter another world. A scream! The girls scream. Alright, so Peter's got to do some shit. Shouldn't have screamed, lady. A moment to slip from restraining shoes. To throw oneself forward using certain unique powers to grip the surface of an alley wall. Finally connect hard. So we can keep reading this. The problem is, where do we want to go? What we're trying to mine here is where do we want to go next on page 6. Right now we got Peter fucking some shit up. Treat him with a little respect. Fuck some shit up. Somebody tries to take him down. Haven't you noticed? It's past your bedtime. Throws one guy into another. Wasn't enough light to see you. It's still the matter of the hysterical girl. I don't believe it. Don't crimp. Say, miss. Hey, wait a minute, will you? Maybe you didn't hear me, miss. I asked you to wait up in case you've forgotten some of those men were attacking you. I know that, please. I don't want to get involved. Yeah, sure, lady. Don't worry about it. Methinks thou dost suffer too well, youth. There be an enjoyment of sorts and pain that of kind, a human enjoyment. Thor, the noble Thor doth move where he doth please, youth. Yet methinks thou doth speak too familiar to a god. Pick up fast. They always said this title, they said this title served as like a talk show. Spider-Man was like interviewing these guys. So that's why they said it was great writing, so that we want to appreciate it. Great writing helps breed great writing. Any more not know something, Thor, you'd write a great fortune cookie. Easy, lad, my patience is not limited. Neither is mine, Bright Eyes, and I've just about the sky. My Odin Silvermane! That effect, get thee inside the swing of my mystic hammer, youth. For in truth it can mean thy life. There in the vortex, doth change to occur. What are you talking about, Thor? So the sky got a little dark. Smog does things like that. Everything's been reversed. The stars are like crystals of coal in the sky. White chalk, white. 'Tis not the only wonder, youth. Look about thee, verily the world hath gone insane. It is though the wheels of time have stopped, and some mad tinkerer hath dossed the very light of reality. I sense danger approaching, must face it alone. Spider sense warned me. Who's this fucking guy? Unless I'm a lousy judge of character, I got a sneaky feeling that somehow they're behind all this. We've got some time soldiers. Down below. And I do. A chance the old boy will introduce us. Somebody might said it's clobbering time. So I'm not getting much out of this. Let me get my water. Be right back. Nice. Not getting much out of Krillic the Cruel. Want you to know me when you die. Your friend Thor, they're really evil. You win some, you lose some. Not this time, sweetums. I'm not feeling this issue right now. Glance around thee for thy reason, mortal. Though I know not the mechanism, I sense this deed be Krillic's doing. Alright, so Krillic has fucked up time and space. Cosmic pawn, but Asgard noble. He wants to fuck up Asgard. 'Tis this which controls the fate of worlds. which dams the stream of time. Behold the dark crystal. I say thee nay, troll. All right. To me, Thor is something I would do with like an Indiana Jones team up. Indiana Jones and the Hammer of Asgard. For that matter, who are they? Ages ago, Krillic did try to invade Asgard from the soil beneath our feet. Almost he did succeed, but in the end, the creature made a deadly mistake, and so was defeated by the All-Father himself. Alright, so they gotta go after Avengers headquarters. Nice try, Thunder God, but looks like your buddy's as stiff as the rest of the world. So everybody's stiff. Everything in time is frozen except Thor and Spider-Man. It's an interesting premise. Everything else, do some fancy rewiring, pray it works. Powered by the mystic energy of Thor's mighty hammer, the delicate equipment begins to hum. An eerie echo of reality in the midst of awesome silence. Must be the residual of your pal's dark crystal. So after, I dare not touch that land, my friend, for Odin hath exiled his only son. So Thor is still banned from Asgard. So Spider-Man is going to have to go through Asgard for Thor. Interesting. Interesting enough story. Just spin that magic hammer. A brave lad, that's Spider-Man. Those who speak ill of him do truly lie. Now the end of that mystic trail to Villick's really lair. So he's going to go after Krillic. Across a span of 10 million miles, 2 tornadoes spin. One towards a distant lonely asteroid, the other to fabled Asgard. See, that's good writing. It's fun. That's fun writing. Now I'm back in the story. The art kind of sucks. Ross Andrews' art kind of sucks. It took me out of the story. And now I'm back in. Land is frozen. Asgard's frozen. Which is kind of interesting. He's going through the metaphysical world, which is frozen. A hitch in time. Why? It's an interesting use to use on a planetoid ordering somewhere near Jupiter. Perhaps the answer elsewhere, Webslinger. I like when they involve the planets of our solar system. A cold and forbidding place, even for the mighty god of thunder. 'Tis most passing strange. This rock be too small to trap in the thinnest atmosphere. I'll get to you in a minute. But hid it within. Prepare thyself for battle, monster. Thor doth call thee to it. Before the son of Odin can stride towards one step forward, a veritable living wave engulfs him. Downs him, until with one mighty surge. Alright, so Thor has to fuck up all these stupid-looking soldiers. Imprudent pup. This Krillic the Cruel. He found a device in a cavern beneath thy hallowed Asgard. They found the crystal. It explained the mysteries of the universe. Those mysteries are no longer Thunder God. They are merely complex weapons. Weapons to be used against that most hated of arrogant godlings. The foul, feudal lord of Asgard who stole both land and life from my troll brethren. The god named Woden, called Odin of Asgard. All right, he wants to fuck up Thor's dead. So Thor's got to come in. All the soldiers are here. He's got to beat up all these fucking trolls, which he sends to do. He gets the axe. He shoots some webs. Krillic's pissed. Kind of a throwaway villain. He's kind of like Earthquake. Tries to punch through him. But he's a million miles away. Oh, he punches an image of him, but the image gets hit? The fuck does that mean? It's not an answering, huh? Okay, let's see you play the strong and silent once I've... By Hela's black blade. Oh, because he's punching the frozen in time version of him. Nay, 'tis no trickery. Krillic doth fall struck by some internal blow, and receives an external one as well. Be I mad? Hath sanity fled and left me bereft of soul and senses alike? Not quite my puzzled friend. Though if Krillic had continued to tamper with the time continuum, That would have been the very least of your problems. Odin's blood, I know thee. Art thee now the Watcher? That's what he calls himself, pal. He says that crystal gizmo is his. Aye, and stolen by this acrylic creature. By using it to freeze the space-time continuum, he created a temporal echo. An echo which touched first on Earth and then on Asgard. Originating here. Apparently, Krillic intended to destroy Asgard while its gods stood outside the flow of time. And to this end, he froze Earth as well, fearing that its heroes might somehow protect the threatened Asgardians. Lucky he missed us, right, Goldilocks? Ah, but it was not only luck, my friend. Question to ponder, Thunder God, on your journey home. So the Watcher. He can't get involved until he gets involved. It's a little fucking annoying after a while. But you can see they started almost making this one monthly because this is April 73. So we'll stay within here. Although I'm thinking, I'm drawn to the idea of doing Norman Osborn next. Page 6, we should bring in Norman Osborn. Page 5, showed off Peter. The Sandman steals his wine. I like that. I'd have him steal the wallet, but then you have to waste panels of them taking the wallet out of the wine. Spider-Man and the Cat. Although I'm feeling the Green Goblin, this is where he kills Gwen Stacy. Perhaps we should have a kill here. We can have somebody making a delivery to Norman Osborn and Norman Osborn killing the messenger. Might be where we have to lean here. Let's give this one more issue. If we don't get what we want here, we'll go Norman Osborn here on the Amazing. I'd like to try and get in 2 of these at least. Because again, these are relatively new to me again. It's been a long time since I even looked at these. Man Killer moves at midnight. There's a certain feeling about Manhattan at night, a mixing of subtle tensions as revealing as a criminal's fingerprint. To the night people such as the wall-crawling Spider-Man, it's gray, brooding, constant in the background of their lives. But then that constant changes, and an alien adds a new tension. It's a signal of danger. Spider sense is tingling. Who's the team on this one? Conway, Jim Mooney. All right, Conway. So they had Conway doing double digits, double duty. Spider-Man versus the Cat. I don't know, who the fuck is the Cat? The Cat, dressed like Wolverine. I'm assuming this is before Black Cat. We don't have Black Cat in the comics yet. This is still before the introduction of Felicia Hardy. So maybe this was their attempt at giving him a Catwoman. Their first failed attempt here. I'm the Cat. Packs a wallet. He's pissed. Now we can talk, Spider-Man. Or must I do more to prove myself? Prove yourself, lady. I don't know who you are. The idea of a woman with powers like mine. Well, you've been a little skeptical. Oh, God, is this more of this fucking Kathleen Kennedy shit? With this, sorry, lady, but I've had my share of crazy politicians. Besides, didn't this happen in Chicago? Politicians slain by militants. See what he said. I have my share of crazy politicians. Remember the previous issues? We had the mayor and the smasher and the fucking the planner, the fucking hitter, whatever the fuck their names were. It was actually the mayor, Richard Raleigh, was running for the mayor of New York. Fuck you. I hate politician stories. Met death at the hand of. All right, so she's here about a politician's murder. True. That's where I became involved. But now she's in New York. And we gotta find her. Stop her before she moves again. Politician slain by militants. She's after a woman. She. Katrina Louisa Van Horn. The man killer. All right, we can bring this chick in. Again, remember, we say everything's by coincidence. That we're trying to write our stories at a time that we're reading these stories. It started a week ago, during a street rally for Mayor Samuels. I've been following the old man's campaign. In case you know, Sam was violently anti-women's lib. At least he was, until someone's spinning blade mowed him down. A stab of intuition made me glance upward in time to catch a shaft of sunlight glinting off the metal of the rooftop across me. So he died almost instantly. I moved. There she was. Back off, little girl. Unless you want your fur ruffled. And I'm just the woman to do it, honey. You better believe it. The man killed. Oh, this just sounds horrible. Oh, looks like this is going to throw this away. Time I came to, she was gone, replaced by half a dozen irate policemen. Tracking her here to Manhattan. Ay, ay, ay. This is not good. We gotta find her, Spider-Man. If she isn't stopped, she'll destroy everything women have fought for. Oh, God. Everything. Kane, please. Got a job to do. Man killer. She's not even hot. Lord in heaven, it's Katrina. What did you hope to prove by that? What is this? Elsewhere in the depths of the canyon city called New York. You had no right to break it in here, so doesn't want to. We have financed your training and development. I don't take that kind of talk from nobody, not even a woman. Katrina, understand we hired Drake for his protection. He's a professional. He's a man, baby. And man, dirt. Oh, she'll fuck him up. See what I mean? And the sisters do see. They see the building image of nightmare. The nightmare began 2 years ago during the Winter Olympics, where a European skier named Katrina Louisa van Horn made her first most fateful appearance. Women athletes, the idea is absurd. Only men can be truly. Oh, God, I hate these. These men suck. Oh, it's bad. Ah, Fräulein van Horn. So she outskied him. She beats him in the skiing. I mean, this is very James Bond. You get a hot skiing chick. No, you fool, you're cutting me off. During the eternity of disaster. In that instance, the career of Katrina Van Horn, Olympic skier, has ended. For the same fall which caused Carl Rubbings his life. The center of male power lies here. In Manhattan, Harlem Power Plant. Caused Katrina Van Horn her body's beauty, scarring her, crippling her so badly that only massive retraining could teach her to use her muscles once more. Oh, she's scarred. A retraining supplied by a wealthy militant group, which also supplied the powered exoskeleton which has supplemented the strength of the man killer. So she wants to kill men. This is pretty fucking stupid. A dear friend of mine was working on a project to realize womankind's full potential. She was injured before she could reveal it to the world, but not before she turned Greer Nelson into the cat. Or haven't you read Claws of the Cat? Oh, God, this is what this title was for. This was them using Spider-Man to try and give lesser-known heroes a rub. To hopefully get you to read fucking Claws of the Cat. Costume nut, gangbusters. At first, it's just the sound. Then it becomes the cloud of rising dust, a trembling vibration to the very bedrock of the city street. Power plant, the man killer's gonna kill this town. What are we in here sitting for? Either that or Con Edison's got a strange new maintenance crew. Let's move, lady, move! Alright, so they're coming in to destroy some shit. Man killer's getting out of here with her chicks. They pull some guns. No one ambitious the man killer, especially not some man. This chick, the cat, looks like Wolverine. She's going to fight the man killer. Neither are very hot. So I can't really even draw them until we look at Claws of the Cat. The winds of pain. Ay, ay, ay. This women's lib shit. Unfinished business. Greer Nelson. The man killer, she's gone. Before it's too late. My name's Watkins. I'm in charge of this plant. We've been working on this special project quite hush. These were certain materials highly radioactive, a new prototype for a high produce generator. That woman, she's taken it. She doesn't understand. All right. What is she after? Is there anything good I could use here? Dawn rises swollen over a soot-layered city. Comb the island. Man killer! Crawl! Mangling crawl like the insect you are. 7 times your strength, you got a powerful exoskeleton. The cat comes into play too. You won't begin on anyone, Katrina. You're a fraud. An unknowing accomplice of the very men you hate. Care that the people who financed you and gave you that suit of reinforced armor to supplement your ruined body were men. The criminal masterminds of AIM. It's not true. It's a lie. No, no, no. Eyes bulging, throat knotted with agony, the woman named Katrina von Horn voices a silent scream that echoes in her mind long after the sound has faded in the still but hat dawn. And then it's over. But she died? The killer stands mute and mindless, testimony to the power of hate, a corruption which can only consume. Consume. They leave her there? Didn't she kill some men? Oh, stupid fucking story. God, that was stupid. You know what? Leave this here. We need page 6. We're not getting it from Team Up right now. We'll catch back up to Team Up even though we're in May and this is June. But we got to get ahead here. We got to get page 6 done. That's fucking stupid stories. You know, sometimes we look at just the roasted. Let's get back to the main frame here. Harry's in bed, losing his shit. He's in bad shape. We're not bringing the kid in, though, yet. We're still dealing with the father. Great art, though. Norman and I have been friends for many years. Ah, Gwen and Mary Jane. Oh, I love it. To be precise, the surging acid diethamate. What you and Miss Watson would know as LSD. I give him a shot of Thorazine. It's a tranquilizer we use to offset the effects of the drug. I knew Harry was a little flaky. It's something like this. Perhaps if Harry hadn't been so depressed when he took the drug, it would have hit him so hard. That could hardly matter now. Total clinical psychosis. What a layman would call schizophrenia. So Harry's got a drug overdose. Peter's got to look in and see what's going down. He goes to see Norman, and then Norman attacks. I told you not to go near my son, Mr. Osborne. Look, Mr. Osborne, I'm not out to hurt anyone. I just came to see if Harry's all right. You want me to go? Let's go. It's cool. It's your house. I don't want to see your face ever again. Your fault. Your fault. He remembers. By showing up, Peter triggers it. Triggers Norman Osborn. Triggers his amnesia. And the Green Goblin is back. Peter. Hey, pretty lady, I kind of figured you'd be here. Miss Stacy, you and your friends are no longer wanted in this house. You can do quite well without your so-called help. You know the way out. Oh, you so wanted to have a three-way with both of these. Why was Mr. Osborne like that? Why would you trying to make things easier? What can I tell you? Poor Harry, I feel so sorry. All his life has been pampered. He's always had what he wanted without ever having to work for it. What could have happened to make him so desperate? Something we never know. I don't know, Pete. I just don't. All my stock's down another 13%. You know this means to continue. I'll be wiped out. Thanks for your help, Carruthers. You okay, Harry? You should be in bed. Thought I heard you talking. Financial consultation. Yeah, so Norman's flipping the fuck out. World falling apart. All these years, my eyes, Harry frantically phones for his doctor. Looking for page 6 here. For that London flu going around. Having it in the office. Haven't you learned to bear with editors when they're feeling frisky? Sorry, Robbie, guess I just feel the way I feel. Right now, all I want to do is a pint of bed crawl on the Parker. Get this disease-ridden menace out of my building. No problem, Robbie. Bonus check, save for about $200. Jameson will flip when he sees those photos of the Hulk and Spidey. Of course, Peter's passing out. He's got to get home. Norman flips out. Thank you for coming. Harry's. Our enemies are everywhere. Men trying to ruin me, corrupt you, my only son. Spider-Man. Huh. Now, the problem I have right now is that Norman, he doesn't have henchmen. We're showing Norman Osborn now. I'll kill you for this. I'll kill you. You're vanishing. You can't do that to me. He's flipping out. Blood of images. Killing can stand it no longer. Like a man ridden in some demon hag, he races from his son's room. Runs out into the night, moist with the hint of tomorrow's rain. His footsteps make a drumbeat on the cracked pavement of Manhattan's Lower East Side, but he seems literally unaware of the sound. Aware of only an inner sound, a long, trailing moan, the first beginnings of his ultimate nightmare. Here is the place I'd almost forgotten. What a fool I've been not to remember it before. Spider-Man is my enemy, my mortal foe. Of all the men on earth, he is the one I must most despise. He is the man who keeps me from myself. He is the one who made my mind forget that I am the Goblin, the Green Goblin, and because of what he's done to me and my son, Spider-Man, the cursed Spider-Man, must die. Die! Die! But Gwen's there. Oh, it sucks. The last time you see Gwen Stacy. He's got the flu, but he's got to fight Gwen. Oh, my lord. Gwen's handbag, the one I gave her for Christmas, and Goblin's lantern. The state Osborn's probably in. He'll probably do anything. Hurt the lady I love. Now it begins. What will soon become the most tormented quest of this young man's adventurous life. And a turning point in a certain costume hero's tempestuous career. Just my luck. I disappear for a weekend in Canada. Flit around playing international detective. The George Washington Bridge. It figures Osborn picked something named after his favorite president. He's got the same sort of hang-up for dollar bills. Spider-Man, or should I say Mr. Parker? I have your woman up here, my friend. I trust you understand what that means. You tell me, Goblin. Quite simple, web spinner. Your presence in this world has been a source of constant agony to me. I wish you to leave it permanently, or else Gwen Stacy dies. That cuts it, pumpkin boy. Up to now, I've been real friendly considering your problems and all that. When you start threatening my girl, the kid gloves are off. A most chivalrous attitude. Pity you won't live to enact it. Oh, they fight. This is really sad, though. This is a sad. I've got to move now. Spider strength. If I ever needed you, I need you now. Don't bum out on me. I've had enough energy for try another day. I got everything to put into this punch. He hits him. He's down for a while at least. Even getting together with what strength I have left, I couldn't pack much of a wallop. My best bet is to pick up Gwen and run. Run! The Green Goblin forms a reunion of his own, aided by the remote-controlled fire of his own design. Gwen! State of shock. I better get her to the hospital and then give her a sedative. You cursed interloper. You'll never take that girl anywhere. Oh, doom. You always hate looking at this. It's art. It's tragedy. You always wish that you're going to read it one time and she lives. She snaps a neck. It's a rough one, you know? Who else could save a fallen girl for Gwen? I saved you. That's the worst part of that line. He says, I saved you. It can't be. A fall from the height would kill anyone before they stuck to the ground. But for you, my friend, death will come more quickly and more surely than all the shock of a sudden fall. You're the one who's going to pay. You're going to die. The night when Stacy died. Huh. So where do we go from here? We're reading through Spider-Man stories. We're mining through the history of the Amazing Spider-Man and Marvel team up. Yet we have nothing. We got one page so far. We need a second page to finish today's class. Where do we go with our story? We're introducing characters. We got to get Peter back into the story. We've introduced them. We've introduced everyone. See our script. We bring Norman back in here. We've shown the mayor. We've shown Betty. We've shown Peter and Mary Jane. We need another interlude. This has got to be Norman Osborn's pages right here. What is he doing? How are we introducing him back into the fold? Do we want to show Norman taking out some criminals? We want to show him off camera, flying around as the Goblin. Do we want to set the pieces in motion? Do we want to show who's stealing these scientists? Because if they're not working for Norman Osborn, oh no, they should be working for Norman. Norman's using Dr. Octopus. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We pan into the secret underground lab of Norman Osborn, who's been reclusively hiding since the events of the first novel. Remember, this is a year later. Or should he have stolen Peter's parents' lab? No, he's got his own lab. He would have his own lab. Of the first novel. We see tanks. We see back to tanks. And several monitors watching the goings on around Empire City. We see a shadowed silhouette of Norman sitting on a chair, naked, while he watches the city above. From what we can see, I like this, what we can see of him. He looks like Howard Hughes in his later days. Long hair, long unshaven hair and beard, scraggly, with long nails and feet in tissue boxes. We can tell that he hasn't left his lair in over a year. I like this. He's watching the city. We need an interlude before we get Peter back in the story. We can't just have Peter on the fucking cliffside getting laid. Then he's walking back into the Daily Bugle. I need a page here to bring in our bad guys so we can show he's using them. Unless we bring in somebody else. We can bring in the fucking Kingpin. We can tell he hasn't left his lair in over a year. I like the idea of someone stealing his scientists. He'll provide some exposition. We pan into the secret underground lab of Norman Osborn, who's been reclusively hiding since the events of the first novel. We see back the tanks and several monitors watching the goings on around Empire City. We see a shadow Empire City. The reports of the scientists and the skyjacking. We see a shadowed silhouette of Norman sitting on a chair naked while he watches the city above. What we can see of him, he looks like Howard Hughes in his later days. Long, unshaven hair and beard, scraggly with long nails and feet in tissue boxes. We can tell he hasn't left his lair in over a year. I like that. We close up on the tank containing the living brain of the once Dr. Octopus. We close up on a tank containing on a back to tank. Back to tank. Tank containing the body of the lizard. See the body. You can see the body is perfectly preserved and looks like he is getting stronger through nutrient tubes. So what I'm thinking here is Norman will be talking about these scientists that are disappearing. We're giving the illusion, of course, at first that he's the one picking up these scientists, but it'll turn out to be somebody else. We'll bring another player into the story. Someone who has hired Vulture and Sandman. You tell he has left his. I like the idea of him very Howard Hughes. We close up on the back of the tank containing the living brain of the once Dr. Octopus. We see several small tentacles emerging from the brain's cocoon, like it is trying to communicate with Norman. We finally got somewhere. Seeing him kill Gwen Stacy is what's pushing us to that next scene. Fucking allergies. Close up. We close up on the back to tank. We close up on the back to tank containing the living brain of Dr. Octopus. Close up on the back to containing the body of the lizard. Should we throw one more prize in here? One more Easter egg? Close up on the hand of Norman picking up an object and using a screwdriver to tinker with it, a la Tony Stark and Iron Man. Close up on the object shows the scary, demonic glare on the face of a pumpkin bomb. Norman cackles maddeningly while he tosses the bomb up in the air as it gives off a flashlight, flare-like flash explosion. SFX of the flare explosion. Boom. See, we wrote the page out. Now we need some dialogue. It takes time. Sometimes you can write a page in 2 minutes. Sometimes you can write a page in 2 fucking hours. So now you can sit here for 2 fucking days. I throw out a lot of shit that I write. The idea is you don't fill it. You never want filler. You don't want to fall into a trap that you do fill it for the rest of your life. Now we need some dialogue. I hate that I keep breathing in like this. The fucking allergies. Shadow. Shame dadu. All right. Audrey too. Shadow bedoo bedoo. Boxes. Several discarded cans of food. Several discarded empty cans of food piled up around him. We can tell he hasn't left his lair in over a year. The place is a mess. Oh, well, Doctor, it appears someone is stealing. Someone is stealing my scientists. Well, Doctor, it appears that someone is stealing my scientists, which means someone is stealing my soul. Well, Doctor, it appears that someone is stealing my scientists, which means someone is stealing my soul. Close up on the back of the tank containing the living brain of the once Dr. Octopus. We see several small tentacles emerging from the brain's cocoon, like it is trying to communicate with Norman. We have to put some exhibition here. No. He'll describe it to the doctor right now. Well, Doctor, 1 year of planning. 1 year of planning. 1 year of perfect strategy, strategy and calculations. Well, Doctor, 1 year of planning. 1 year of perfect strategy and calculation. 1 year of planning. 1 year of perfect strategy and calculation. Checkmate, Doctor. Checkmate. Well, Doctor, it appears that someone is stealing my scientist, which means someone is stealing my soul. A close-up on the back tank containing the living brain of the once Dr. Octopus. We see several small tentacles emerging from the brain's cocoon like it is trying to communicate with Norman. We can still see some remnants. I don't know. This is your doing. But I wouldn't call checkmate just yet. Whether you... I don't know if this is your doing. There is someone new entering the field. I don't know if this is your doing, or if there is someone new entering the field. But I wouldn't call checkmate just yet. We see several small tentacles emerging from the brain's cocoon. But I wouldn't call checkmate just yet. You may think that my preservation You may think that my preservation of your what? Your cranium or what? You may think that my preservation of your mind is strictly for selfish purposes. You may think that my preservation of your mind is strictly for selfish purposes. And I'm here to reassure you that it is. And I want you to remember that. You may think that my preservation of your mind is strictly for selfish purposes. And I'm here to reassure you that it is. And I want you to remember that every time. Every time. Every time you reach for that bullet. I don't know if this is your doing, or if there is someone new entering the field, but I wouldn't call checkmate just yet. You may think that my preservation of your mind is strictly for selfish purposes, and I reassure you that it is. And I want you to remember that every time you reach for that bullet. Still itching. Still wrapped. Still coiled around your nerve. And I want you to remember that every time you reach for that bullet, still coiled around your nerve. Now let's cut that line off. And I want you to remember that every time you reach for that bullet, still coiled around your nerve. We should be working together, Doctor. I will be patient while you meditate. We should be working together, Doctor. And I will be patient while you meditate. For we both have the same goal. The evolution of mankind. Immortality. If we can save your mind, perhaps provide a new vessel, one superior to your former shell, so we can get the immortality out of there. We should be working together, Doctor, and I will be patient while you meditate, for we both have the same goal, the evolution of mankind. For if we can save your mind, and perhaps provide a new vessel, one superior to your former shell, and we will have tapped into the secret of immortality. See, I like that. I like that. He's got a goal. We should be working together, Doctor, and I'll be patient while you meditate, for we both have the same goal, the evolution of mankind. For if we can save your mind, and perhaps provide a new vessel, not a new vessel, and perhaps provide it a new vessel, one superior to your former shell, and we will have tapped into the secret of immortality. He's going to put close up on the hand of Norman picking up an object and using a screwdriver to tinker with it. Your actions. I have lost. I have lost the lines of communication. Due to your actions. Perhaps the will of nature. Due to your actions. Or perhaps the will of nature. I have lost the lines of communication to this kingdom. I have lost the lines of communication to this kingdom. I've lost access. But there are other means. Due to your action. Oh, we need something up there first. I need what we would say about what each doctor was going to do. What was Harrow again? Harrow was the Harrow is the surgeon. Okay, Harrow's the surgeon. Jorgensen's blood, which we got from reading about Morbius. Thaxton Jorgensen. See, but Norman's fucking crazy. Dr. Octopus can't do anything, but he thinks the doctor's doing all this to him. Which I also like. Shows Norman's a fucking nut job. And you can have fun speaking through him, you know? Dr. Harrow. Dr. Harrow is the only one I can trust. For surgery. Thaxton and Jorgensen. Providing the equation. Make the transfer. Dr. Harrow was the only one I could trust to perform the surgery, with Thaxton and Jorgensen providing the equation to make the transfer. To make the successful transfer. Due to your actions, or perhaps the will of nature, I have lost the lines of communication to this kingdom. I've lost access. There are other means. Same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form. The same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form. Contend with the same demons. The same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form. Contend with the same demons who have blessed me with great power. The same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form. Contend with the same demons who have blessed me with great power. And with great power. So, of course, we'll always do a twist on with great power, less great responsibility. Norman cackles maddeningly as he tosses the bomb up in the air as it gives off a flare-like explosion. Love it. End the page. Comes great. What? The same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form contend with the same demons who have blessed me with great power. And with great power due to your actions, or perhaps the will of nature, I have lost the lines of communication to this kingdom. I've lost access. But there are other means. Find my swords. Defy thy swords. Instead of find thy swords. To defy thy swords. I've lost the lines of communication to this kingdom. I've lost access. But there are other means to defy thy swords. Like it's see how we write the art and then we match the dialogue. It's the greatest part of writing fucking comic books. The same gods who have cursed me with this mortal form contend with the same demons who have blessed me with great power. And with great power comes great what? I need one more fucking word here and we're done for the day. He tosses the bomb. Comes great idolatry. With great power comes great responsibility, comes great vitality. Dictatorship, kingship, reigning. Comes great possibility. I like that. Instead of responsibilities. Content with the same demons who have blessed me with great power. And with great power comes greater possibilities. With great power comes great possibilities. Boom. With great power comes great destruction. And with great power comes great possibilities. I like that. Instead of responsibilities, possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, takes a while sometimes. That's 2 fucking pages in the book. We will get them over to the Rivet Engine, and we will turn them into videos. That is what we did today. We made it through 3 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. We will pick up next time with the aftermath of the death of Gwen Stacy here in July. We are here in May. So we're 2 months back on the team up. We'll try and get caught up. As Spider-Man will be teaming up with Iron Man in the Tomorrow War. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. May fate and faith decide your fortune if you like what you get here in our classes. Make sure you make a donation. Not even a donation, fuck a donation. Buy a goddamn book. Here, the AracKnight Chapter 1, comic and textbook, Kickstarter, Peace, Love, and War, all that shit in between.